It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 284, Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal, and he is co-host of Couch and the Rube. Weekday mornings, 10 to noon. How are you, Graham?
It's good to be back. Feels like it's been a while. Everybody looks different, you know, new staff. I look better than Darian. I've been waiting for this moment to sort of...
No, we're not going to go quite that far. As far as your weekend, we were both in Bloomington, Indiana. Surprise.
Yeah, great day for Michigan State basketball, or not really. It looked like it was going to be a great day for a while, and it's sort of in one game you saw everything about their small margins and really high ceiling all at once, and there's some things that should be promising and really scary for MSU fans in that game.
Tom Izzo ran out of bailing wire in that one, and now he's got two challenges this week, Nebraska and then Michigan on Saturday. Also want to welcome Darian Harris, five-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions, last semester graduate student, aspiring athletic director, future broadcaster, brand ambassador for Big B Coffee. Got the NFL Combine in action. Some people you know.
Yeah, a lot of guys that I know, some former teammates that have performed pretty well. Former MSU players performing really well. Obviously tomorrow, Justin Lane and Carter Willis will get a chance to take the field and show what they can do out there. Justin Lane putting out some pretty good comments saying that teams are asking about his speed, but he knows he's fast, and I know he's fast. So to be honest, I'll put it out there right now. I'm expecting something in the 4.3 range for Justin Lane. He's going to make himself some money tomorrow.
One of the big stories of the week didn't have anything to do with timing or bench press. It had to do with the measurement of Kyler Murray's hand.
Yeah. You know, I mean, as I've said, you know, over the last few years, you know, when I went through the process and everything, the NFL is going to find whatever they can to try to pick you apart. Yeah. They're finding out they can't find anything wrong with Kyler Murray. He's going to go #1 overall. There's no way the Cardinals are going to pass on him.
Yeah. So that means, Doug Warren, that Josh Rosen's going to have a new home.
That's right. He's going to have somewhere to go there to find a spot for him. Yeah, that's crazy.
We're talking with Doug Warren, and he is Director of Sports Programming for the Spotlight Radio Network. He is producer of The Drive with Jack and Tom, weekdays from 3 to 6, and host of Lions Today, weekdays from 2 to 3. The Lions are represented at the Combine. Doesn't mean they'll come out with any good players, though, right?
Yeah, well, there's lots of good players down there, lots of defensive players. Montez Sweat, really fast today. I don't even know if he'll be there by the time the Lions draft at 8 after his performance today down in Indianapolis, but that's the type of guy that the Lions need. They need more playmakers, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, that's the thing. With the Lions, you got a lot of choices, right? A lot of ways you can be successful. They'll usually find one where they aren't, but we'll see what they do now with Bob Quinn and company. We will be right back. Let's start with Michigan State basketball. Our Going Green segment brought to you by Graf Chevrolet. Up next.
Welcome to Russell and Schrader Insurance.
Hastings Mutual is a trusted partner of ours. Call Joe Daly for a Hastings Mutual insurance quote. They are hard to beat. Call Dylan Bond today. From business to farms, Hastings Mutual and Russell and Schrader Insurance will protect your best assets.
You knew you needed new windows last year, but you put it off. You wanted new windows before winter, but you put it off. Don't put it off anymore. Wallside's off-season sale ends Tuesday. Get 50% off all windows. There's even 50% off patio doors. And since it's our 75th year, take an extra 15% off for cash or 5 years, no interest. Wallside's off-season sale ends Tuesday, March 5th. 1-800-521-7800.
Hi, I'm Realtor Brock Fletcher from the selling team with Keller Williams. Mid-Michigan homeowners who sell their homes with us get an average of 98% of their asking price and sell their home in an average of 28 days. Call us today at 517-853-6408.
The pages of Outdoor Life and Field & Stream magazines will come to life at the Lansing Center, March 8th through 10th. It's the Outdoor Life Field & Stream Expo, presented by Suzuki, formerly Deer and Turkey Expo. Don't miss this massive display of top hunting, adventure, and outdoor gear. Meet skilled experts who share your passion. Enter the Trophy Buck Contest, plus see the archery trick shot demo, the incredible Dock Dogs, Whitetails of North America, and New Holland presents continuous helpful seminars. Tickets and info at fieldandstreamexpo.com.
Download the Fox 47 Storm Shield app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment. Brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend. 105 years in the automobile business. Stop to see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf.
So sick of coaching the way I got to coach and practice the way I got to practice. Can't even read this thing. It's my eyes and stupid NCAA stuff. But guys, he hits 3 threes. He's hit 4 all year. What the hell are you going to do? Guard him? Probably. You know, they hit 3 big ones late. Green did. That's what sucks about basketball. It's just like you're manufacturing, you're trying to reinvent your team on the frickin' bench. I don't know, we're gonna come up with some magic tricks and bring Sean Respert back. I don't know what the hell we'll do. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't care. He's gotta take from liking the game to loving the game, then he's gotta live the game. If he wants to do that, he'll be a hell of a player. If he doesn't want to do that, we'll replace him. It's a choice to cut out and rebound. It's a skill to make a shot. We got beat because we didn't choose to rebound as well. Now, in fairness, I think we were just flat out worn out. I thought we outplayed them for 38 minutes and we didn't win a game. And that's the beauty of basketball.
Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo yesterday in Assembly Hall. Darian Harris, it's tough to win any game when you give up 15 offensive rebounds and you don't score a point in the last 4 minutes and 15 seconds, but without your second and third best players, and with your best wingman severely limited by a sprained ankle, and your top sub who cannot go into a game, cannot leave the bench or stand up, what's Izzo supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much he can do except say all the things he said and expect his players to go out there and give effort in terms of offensive rebounds. I mean, I think he nailed it on the head right there. You know, shooting and you know, being able to pass like Cassius can do and things like that. Those are skills. Rebounding is about effort and about want to. And, I mean, giving up 15 offensive rebounds against Indiana is just not going to get it done. And I agree, as he said, you outplay somebody 38 minutes of the game. In the last 2 minutes, a game can slip away. That's how basketball is. It's a game of runs. I agree. That's what makes the game so great. And, you know, this might be one of those times where you look back on the season and say you dropped 2 to Indiana and 1 to Illinois, and that cost you a regular season Big Ten title. That's got to be pretty frustrating.
35 offensive rebounds for Indiana in the 2 games. Graham, you've seen Tom Izzo after a lot of great wins, some exasperating losses. Where did this one rank on the frustration scale?
I think there's frustration in it because the vulnerabilities are in plain sight and there's not a whole lot they can do about them. And I think that's the hard part. Sometimes when your mistakes are what cost you and they're easily correctable, you didn't play well or you didn't show up with the effort. Look, for 38 minutes, they had the effort. And even when they weren't cutting out or they were getting out rebounded, some of that was just the reality of who they have on the court. And the other thing is, I don't think it was this game as much. I think he was feeling the first Indiana game. Yeah. Because you win that game, you're in control still of things of the Big Ten. And they're probably not going to win the Big Ten just because of the unbalanced schedule and a couple injuries and bad timing on losses.
Doug Warren, when you lead a road game for 36 minutes and 34 seconds, and you have advantages in all 3 shooting categories, you expect to leave with a win, but as you suggested yesterday, it is tough to win on the road in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's always tough, and even in a place like Indiana with a subpar Indiana team, and the fact that they just don't have any depth anymore. Arns cannot play. He's tried. He can't anymore. And at the end of the game, you're down to basically 5 guys. That's why they didn't score in the last 4 minutes plus, and that's why they got out-rebounded late. They had 14 turnovers, which has always been an issue with them. So it's like Graham said, all the things that are problems have just manifested themselves all at once, and there's really nowhere to go. You just have to battle through it and see what happens.
Indiana got 13 more shot attempts than Michigan State. And Justin Smith, a career day. This guy had not hit a three in 39 days, covering 8 games. He hadn't had one. Suddenly, he thinks he's Reggie Miller. Graham, when you think about Michigan State having more quad 1 wins than any team in the nation, but they have these losses to Indiana, why Indiana when they haven't lost to Michigan, Maryland, Iowa, or Wisconsin?
It comes back to that high ceiling, small margin of error. When it's rolling and they're coming at you and it's working. The other thing is Indiana their record is deceiving. If you just look pound for pound, athlete for athlete, they're right there with Michigan State. They got 2 of the more gifted players in the Big Ten. They've had some guys that just came back for that first matchup. You think about how Michigan State beat Michigan. That ball screen for 40 minutes with Cassius Winston, that was the first time they'd done that. I think it caught Michigan a little off guard. When Indiana beat them at Breslin, they had 2 guys come back who hadn't been playing. They played a more inspired game. I think that caught Michigan State a little off guard. And then there are just some realities of what you see game to game with a group that's this thin. If you have Matt McQuaid as healthy as he was against Michigan, and you have Kyle Arns able to give you 20 quality minutes like he did against Michigan, they beat Indiana by 5 to 8 points like they should have. So I think sometimes it's just that is your margin for error, and that's what's happened.
Yeah, and Indiana was confident. Say, hey, we did it once, we can do it again. Crowd helped. A lot of things didn't help Michigan State yesterday, and now they find themselves in a very difficult position. They got to win twice and get some major help. Maybe Minnesota can beat the Purdue Boilermakers. We'll be right back talking Michigan basketball out of the blue. Up next.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Each week, the Michigan Lottery recognizes outstanding public school educators from across the state with the Excellence in Education Awards. Watch Fox 47 News at 6:30 on Tuesday to find out this week's winner.
Fox 47, home to the most popular comedies on TV.
Looking out for your business is important.
Hey, new equipment looks great.
And in this moment, you realize your independent auto owner's insurance agent is the right person to protect it.
Holden Diamond Dale Insurance Agency. We are
your hometown team.
It's that crazy time of year at the world's #1 furniture retailer, Ashley Home Store. Sleep right with the best mattress deals only in Lansing. Mattress floor models are on closeout with up to 50% off all major brands. Only $5 down and no credit needed. Or get 72 months no interest financing with no money down, plus an additional $300 in Ashley cash on Tempur-Pedic. All qualifying purchases get free next day delivery and free setup too. Queen sets starting at just $199. A queen adjustable power base is only $399. Ashley Home Store only in Lansing, next to Target across from the Lansing Mall.
Weather in mid-Michigan can change in the blink of an eye, and Fox 47 Storm Shield Weather is here to keep you prepared. On air, in the morning, when you get home, and before you go to bed. Download the Storm Shield app from your app store today.
Be tremendous.
You've been doing this every year. Why do you do this with your team?
The experiential learning of it. Not all learning's done in the classroom or on the football field, so you got to get out.
Jim Harbaugh shows up at Chrysler Center, and talking with Molly McGrath, and then suddenly John Beilein becomes this moving screen sliding up and down in front of him. Looks a little bit like he did at Penn State when he got tossed out of the game, but I don't know what could have gotten him that worked up in the Nebraska game. There wasn't anything to get worried about at any point, but apparently he was irritated with something going on there. Doug Warren, after a balloon-busting loss last Sunday to Michigan State, what do we make of Michigan's nuking of Nebraska at home and a tremendous win this afternoon at College Park, Maryland?
Well, the Michigan Wolverines are clearly a top 10 team. In the last two games, it's been Teskey and Brzdakis that have really kind of shown those guys play well together. They're going to be very difficult to beat. Last two games, they combined for 74 points and 34 boards. So when those guys are playing that well, they're an exceptional basketball team, and that's what's happened thus far.
Graham, they have the ability to have two players have bad games. And that's the mark of a really dangerous team. You can have one player have a bad game and overcome it. But when you have two guys stink, and you can still beat a good team on the road, that says a lot.
They've got a lot of grit, a lot of sweat equity. You know, you see Xavier Simpson, that hook shot, and just sort of what he brings. And you see the difference when he's out. I mean, he really is the key. He's out with those 3 fouls early in the second half, and Maryland starts to take a little bit of control. The second he comes back in, that sort of changes. It's what happens to the opposing point guard. They've got a nice makeup. You know, the question is the scoring droughts. And if they don't go on scoring droughts at the wrong time, that's a team that can go a long way in March.
Brzdakis, Darian, looks fearless out there. Not always the results you want, but he thinks he's going to make every basket.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think he's a freshman of the year in the Big Ten, no question about it. And another one of those guys kind of came out of nowhere. So hats off to Beilein and his recruiting.
You're going to get into it with Rico Beard now. He says Romeo Langford.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, I don't think it's close at all. And Rico loses his basketball card. And I know he once had Michigan in the CBI before they went to the national title game, so Rico's basketball card is already in peril. If you think Romeo Langford and all the bad shots he takes, I don't even think he's number 2, and I'd have to go through but Romeo Langford should not be in. He'll get on a lot of ballots. He is not your freshman of the year. He's not even close.
Maybe Joe Wieskamp. There are a lot of other guys.
Yeah.
As freshmen, you can have a pretty good freshman team. With Charles Matthews wearing a boot today, how much help can the Wolverines expect from their lone senior moving forward? Saturday, 1 game left in the regular season in East Lansing. And then the following weekend, you got those back-to-back-to-back games. They won't have to play 4 games in 4 days the way they did in winning the championship the last 2 years. But without Matthews, how much will that hurt them moving forward?
Well, it hurts them. You see how they can overcome it. I mean, today was a really impressive day where they still look like who they are. And I think it obviously hurts them defensively. I think sometimes they're actually worse offensively when he's on the floor because of the shot selection, some of the other things that happen to their offense. But defensively is where it hurts you. And I think it hurt them against MSU when you had the plan is he locks down Matt McQuaid, and that goes away a little bit. So they need him back to make a deep run. I don't think he's going to be back, though. If you listen to just read between the lines on John Beilein today for the Michigan State game, and then how much do you want to wear a guy down in the Big Ten tournament? If you want him 100%.
Just bring him back for the NCAA tournaments. That's the number one objective.
You just don't want to wear him down with back-to-back-to-back games, which again, it's not for a Big Ten championship. It's for the Big Ten tournament championship. Big difference.
Big difference.
The banner is in the regular season.
Darian, 2 weeks from tonight, we will know if Michigan has won a 3rd straight tournament championship, and if it is a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. 19 conference games in the books. What will the next 14 days bring us?
I think it's going to bring in a lot of entertainment. It's going to come down to the wire. I mean, obviously, we've got to see what happens with Purdue. You know, I think everybody might have just opened the door for them to get one, but got to see what happens with Minnesota. You know, I wanted it, and I think everybody wanted for that, last game in the Breslin Center to be for all the marbles there, and it might not come down to that, but it could still potentially do that. Everybody's still got to take care of business and win the games they got to win. So I still think that game next Saturday is going to be pretty fun to watch, and it's going to have a lot on the table.
Suddenly, a lot of Minnesota Gophers fans around here, and in Ann Arbor. We will be back, and we're going to talk more about the Big Ten race in the national landscape. The big picture up next.
If you're looking for a used car, then look to Shaheen Chevrolet. We've expanded our lot to include Lansing's largest selection of used cars and trucks. Late models, low miles, and no worries.
Shaheen certified pre-owned vehicles come with a full detailed history report, 2 warranties, and included maintenance. You even get free OnStar and XM radio.
We also have a great selection of vehicles under $10,000, all with special internet pricing at ShaheenChevrolet.com.
You get a better used car deal because you get a better used car at Shaheen Chevrolet.
There's a reason we're Mid-Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
You save more at Shaheen in 2019.
Think about the number of people your child crosses paths with over a course of a single school day. Their bus driver, librarians, cafeteria workers, and yes, their teachers. Ordinary people going above and beyond to help children. Each week, the Michigan Lottery selects an outstanding public school educator to receive the Excellence in Education Award. Watch Fox 47 News at 6:30 on Tuesday to find out this week's winner.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
On Fox 47, it's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to Northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I were in August for the NFL Legends Classic, and where we'll be very soon for the Big Ten Tournament. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride. There you see a tweet from Purdue men's basketball. Suddenly, they're all about Indiana. Indiana, we're all for you. That's what Purdue was saying yesterday. And very, very happy with the result of that game. That means now Purdue win, and they're in. 2 road tests left. Minnesota, and then Northwestern, last game of the season. Graham Couch, Purdue has won 13 of its last 14 conference games, surprising everyone. Is it possible the season's biggest game is one that won't be played? A Wolverines Boilermakers rematch in Mackey Arena.
I mean, in terms of, yes, because I think there's a real chance that Purdue wins this thing, right? I mean, there's a chance they're going to lose it too because they're not that good. Right. That's the other thing. and they could easily lose at Minnesota. They could lose to Northwestern on the road. And I think it's bad for the Big Ten if they win it. Because all year long we've been saying this is a great Big Ten. If I'm the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee and Purdue wins the Big Ten, I look at the Big Ten and say, you get 4. Pick your 4. You get 4 teams in, you're not that good a league. Now, I'm kidding, obviously. But it does speak to there's great depth. You see what Illinois has become. You see what Penn State is doing late. But the top 3 teams in the Big Ten all had more talent a year ago. And Purdue is doing this with a great coach, with a lot of role players, and a star who doesn't make any of his teammates better. That's really hard to be a good team with a guy who doesn't make his teammates better in that role. And it's remarkable. And some of it's scheduling, but at some point you have to tip your cap a little bit.
4 of the NCAA's Big 8, the teams that we have seen and debated, could they be a 1? Will they be a 2? You're talking about Michigan State, Michigan, Tennessee, and Kentucky all year. It's possible that none of those teams will win the league championship. Very possible Purdue will win. I'd say it's probable. now that Purdue would win. And LSU could win the SEC. Kentucky right now is in 3rd place. Darian, 2 weeks ago, Kentucky rolled Tennessee, and the narrative immediately was, oh, Kentucky now, watch them, they're going Final Four, and Tennessee is horribly overrated. We got the payback yesterday, just the exact opposite script. Do you think that anyone will give Rick Barnes' program the props that John Calipari's players got?
I mean, Rick Barnes doesn't have the caliber players that John Calipari does in terms of the one and dones, and that's what's going to always give Kentucky, you know, the benefit of the doubt and make them the must-see quote unquote TV. But you know, for my money, earlier in the season, I was picking Tennessee to go all the way.
You said that.
I did, and then obviously Kentucky routed them, and I was like, oh, maybe not. But then they turned around and did it again. So honestly, I'm not sure. I have no idea what's going to happen going into the tournament. Kind of the same as Michigan State. I really don't know what's going to happen, but. You know, I think the NCAA would like Tennessee to go far to prove that staying in college, you know, juniors and seniors is the way to go. But I'm not sure that narrative will ever be shifted to that in college basketball.
I actually like Kentucky and Tennessee in a conference tournament much better than I like Michigan State and Michigan, because the teams here are short bench teams. I got 6 guys or 7 now, and if you're playing back to back to back, that's really hard to win 3 games in a row like that. I don't know how you do it. Doug Warren, taking a look at the latest NCAA net rankings. Give us your 4 number 1 seeds and your 4 number 2s.
My 4 number 1s are Gonzaga, Virginia, Tennessee, and Duke. Still got to keep them in the top 4.
Okay.
And then my 2 seeds are Kentucky, Carolina, Houston, and Michigan.
Okay, so you have Michigan State sliding out.
I can't put them in there now with everything that's gone on with the basketball team. They just, you know, 5-man rotation.
And Houston lost yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You wonder about quality wins. Can you believe in Houston, Graham? You're an AP
I believe in
holder.
Houston. I do, and I think look, that was a desperate Central Florida team that needed that sort of win to get themselves in that large pit. So yeah, I'm a Houston believer. That's a team I don't think Michigan State wants to run into on like a 2-3 line in the Sweet 16.
Going back a couple months, the team from non-Power 5 conference everyone was talking about was Nevada.
Yeah.
And they lost yesterday to Utah State.
I still believe in Nevada.
You still like them?
Nevada, well, yeah. Yeah, I do. I think they've got a lot of talent. They've got a lineup that's older than the Phoenix Suns, and they've got a 5-star kid coming off the bench. And I think what happens to some of those teams, first of all, Utah State, if you ever covered a game there, it's an incredibly difficult place to play. They've got a good team that's almost a bubble team. Yeah. And some of these teams in these lower leagues, what Gonzaga is doing right now is impressive, because I do think there's a boredom that sets in. You don't get the Michigan State, Indiana, the Michigan State, Michigan game. It's a difficult road.
So the number of teams that could cut down the nets in Minneapolis, are we at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? What's the number? What do you think?
I think it's top heavy. I think it's like 3 or 4.
3 or 4 that could really do it.
Maybe 5.
It's about what it normally is, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There could be a surprise.
We've seen 3 seeds do it before. I would say a 2 seed here has a really good chance. We'll be right back in just a minute. Hoops and Horsepower, the NBA, up next.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
They're hiding in the shadows, hoping not to be seen. Mid-Michigan fugitives on the run. We're putting the bad guys in the spotlight, and you can help catch them. Watch Fox Finders, Wanted Fugitives, Fridays on Fox 47 News. Watch Live PD Police Patrol, weeknights at 10 on My 47.4.
King Media, celebrating 20 years of moving the needle for Michigan businesses.
The rule of threes states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing than those that don't. We couldn't agree more. Three trucks, one GMC. Current GM owners get over $11,000 total value on the specially equipped Sierra Denali when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade GMC.
Fox 47, home to the #1 primetime newscast.
It's still going to be a very gusty day.
The fastest growing morning news in mid-Michigan.
Cooling down quite significantly.
Yeah, cooling down, that's our bigger story today.
And the only local news weeknights at 6:30.
A new facial recognition technology.
Thank you for making Fox 47 mid-Michigan's favorite TV station.
Don't miss the return of Beat Shazam this May on Fox.
Wade against Iguodala. 5 seconds left. Waiters back to Dwayne. Shoots. No, he couldn't get it off. Now fires it up. Bank it in. It counts. It counts. The Heat win the game. Dwayne Wade won it for Miami. 126 to 125. It just happened.
Darian Harris, it was quite the week for unforgettable NBA regular season moments. Maybe as good a week as we have seen in some time. Dwayne Wade whacking the Golden State Warriors, and then Doc Rivers grabbing the mic in his salute to Dirk Nowitzki. How should Dwayne and Dirk be remembered?
Obviously, his first ballot Hall of Famers. I mean, Dwayne Wade's career is one that's, I think, is kind of flying under the radar, kind of, but not really. I mean, he's the third best shooting guard of all time. He's pretty cemented right there. He was the first player in that class, that great 2003 class, to get a ring. Yeah. I mean, if you think about, obviously, LeBron, Carmelo, Chris Bosh in that class, he was the first one to get a ring, and he did it essentially as a kid, beating Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks. And that finals performance that he put on was probably, you know, up there, top 2, 3 in the modern era, honestly. I mean, it's right up there with some of Michael Jordan's performances. So his career has been phenomenal. And then Dirk Nowitzki, he's a transcendent player, you know, in terms of what he did for European basketball, for opening the doors for Luka Doncic, Porzingis, guys that come over from overseas over to the NBA. I mean, transcendent. That's the only way I can think of.
Greatest European player we've seen?
Oh, for sure, by far.
Graham Couch, Tom Crawford and I used to have heated arguments, 2003. And he wanted the Pistons to take Carmelo Anthony. I wanted him to take Dwayne Wade. Turns out they took Darko Milicic and almost took Chris Bosh. So none of us were right with that. But you think about those two guys and LeBron James, what a class that was.
It was an incredible class. And you think about what bothers me about not taking Carmelo is what he would have joined and what he was at Syracuse. And you think about where the Pistons were at that moment. And I don't know if they go out and then they get Rasheed Wallace. And there are a lot of things that happened the way they did. But if he was able to be a role player as a young player with those veterans, and then as they aged, be the guy, it would have been sort of like what the Celtics tried to do with Len Bias all those years ago. I mean, what that could have been for the Pistons and how that could have they certainly would have won more than one title. And then what that would have allowed that group to become for a while. I mean, that was a real opportunity to be a great team and have the #2 pick.
Doesn't happen often.
No.
Doug Warren, you are a historian. There were 4,124 people in the Hershey, Pennsylvania Sports Arena the night that Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points, and there you see him holding up that piece of paper. That was their idea of a prop in those days. 100 points in that game, and hasn't really been approached since. Now we've got another prolific scorer, James Harden, at it again today, another 40-point game. How does James Harden do what he does And do you think anyone will ever approach Wilt's 100-point mark?
Well, I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to score 100 points again. I mean, the closest has been Kobe. He had 81.
Cheryl Miller did it in high school, right?
As far as Harden, I mean, number one, he has the ball in his hands all the time.
Yeah.
You know, he's leading the league in scoring, 36.6, which is almost 10 points more than Paul George, I think, who's in second place. He has a lot of turnovers. But the thing about him is that he can just get separation. In subtle ways, and he can inside, outside, and the fadeaway shot that he has, and the shooting today in the NBA is so amazing. So many guys who can hit shots from all angles, and he's just among the best that I've ever seen at that. And he'll step back play that. It just, you know, people say he travels. I look at it all the time. I rarely see the guy travel. He just has that knack about getting that extra step.
He gets to the line whenever he wants, Darren. Yeah. You almost have to figure 12 to 15 points at the free throw line.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's leading the league and has for the past several years led the league in free throw attempts. He's the best offensive player in the game today. There's no question about that.
You think he could score 100 points?
I mean, I think it's possible. I just think it's a matter of if he wants to.
Kobe, he gave it a shot.
Kobe was close with 81. I mean, the thing is, we see so many times things that we say can't happen and happen. I mean, Russell Westbrook's about to average his third straight season of the triple-double. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable what these guys could do.
Graham Couch, just when we want to bury the Detroit Pistons, they bounce back and have their eyes on a 6th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. For a full-throated advocate of tanking, can we give Dwayne Casey's team a little credit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this season. I'll enjoy them in the playoffs. I think he's a really good coach. I think they've got the formula to be the 4 or 5 seed for the next 4 or 5 years. Then they'll have to rebuild it and go all the way down. They are so far from a championship. They are farther than any franchise that exists because you're still in that denial stage. But again, when you have Blake Griffin, what else are you going to do? I mean, you're
one Giannis Antetokounmpo injury away from winning.
And if you can add a guard, maybe draft a Donovan Mitchell next time he's available, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Maybe you have a shot.
Somebody's going to get lucky.
I think they're taking the right approach. I think, unfortunately, they're just a long way away.
We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to have our Law of the Jungle segment, talking about the National Football League up next.
It's that crazy time of year at the world's #1 furniture retailer, Ashley Home Store. Sleep right with the best mattress deals only in Lansing. Mattress floor models are on closeout with up to 50% off all major brands. Only $5 down and no credit needed. Or get 72 months no interest financing with no money down, plus an additional $300 in Ashley cash on Tempur-Pedic. All qualifying purchases get free next day delivery and free setup too. Queen sets starting at just $199. A queen adjustable power base is only $399. Ashley Home Store only in Lansing, next to Target across from the Lansing Mall.
You've been your best self all year, so now it's time to treat yourself to Lansing's best punchki, only at Quality Dairy. QD punchki are made right here in Lansing and delivered fresh every day. Their 12 delicious flavors are crafted from a 40-year-old authentic Polish recipe, but they only come once a year. So treat your family, treat your friends, and treat yourself to punchki at QD, the place for Lansing's best punchki.
Get the lowdown from TMZ, weeknights at 7 on My 47.4.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango, and Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The Big Bang Theory and Shazam present...
Shazam?
Bazinga! The Shazinga Sweepstakes. You could win a grand prize trip for 2 to the Hollywood premiere of Shazam.
Oh yeah, this is it.
Plus daily cash prizes or one of 1,000 pairs of movie passes. Watch Big Bang all this week for the Shazinga word of the day. Text it to 888-111 or go to BigBangWeeknights.com. It's the Shazinga Sweepstakes.
Watch weeknights at 6, 7, and now 11 p.m.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. The Woody's items are now available at Tom's Foods, Clorox, and other local grocers.
Now buckle up, Rich. Montez Sweat. Now this is unofficial, but that's a record if it is official. 4-4-2.
Well, the record now is 4-4-1 for defensive linemen. And Doug, Montez Sweat, the first Michigan State to Mississippi State transfer I know of. Apparently he loved the letters, MSU.
That's right, yeah.
And definitely the first one from Mississippi State, from Michigan State, with first-round potential. What does it say about a guy who can run a 4.41 as a 265-pound edge rusher?
No, it's incredible. He's an incredible athlete, and he produced big time the last 2 years at Mississippi State. And with that, his performance this weekend at the Combine, you know, people thought maybe he'd slide to the Lions. I don't know that he'll be there at 8. He could vault over everybody except Nick Bosa as far as defensive linemen, the way he's played. And the tape matches up with what he did today.
And Nick Bosa's time today, did you see that? It's like 4.79.
Yeah.
You know, at some point there's more than just.
No, absolutely. He's still to me the number one pick, unless the Cardinals take Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Graham, every year there's a guy who takes the Combine by storm. This year's freaky phenom is Mississippi workout warrior DK Metcalf. This is a 235-pound wideout, 4.33 40 speed. And you see his hands here, catch and drop drill, turning it upfield. Pretty spectacular, and tracks the deep ball well. Really wasn't anything he didn't do. You see his vertical there. And he has a physique which will never be confused with Rico Beard's. There was a photo of him shirtless. There you see.
Not Rico shirtless, is there?
No. What's the takeaway here? You've got a guy that most people had never heard of, and suddenly everybody wants to be DK.
Yeah, I mean, the Combine isn't everything, right? But it can vault you into the consciousness of, and it can make your career, it can make your life. I remember covering a guy at Western Michigan who ran a 4.29 in front of Drew Rosenhaus at Western Michigan's Pro Day. Boom, he became a 7th-round pick, played in the league 4 or 5 years as a corner, changed his life entirely. And so there is the tape in these sort of days. Somebody's going to give you a shot when you can do that stuff and you look like that, and you come in and you see. The one thing I think it also does, it shows you take this stuff really seriously. There's a professionalism aspect of it when you show up and you really dominate one of these workouts.
Looking at him, I don't want to say he should be tested, but I'm going to say he should be tested. I mean, he just looks like people aren't supposed to look.
No, his dad played in the league too. Terrence Metcalf's his father, so
and Eric is his uncle, right?
Yeah, he's been training literally since he was teenager.
Darian, what's more important? The tape of what you've done or the time that you run?
I really think it depends on who you are. I mean, if you look at a guy like Nick Bosa, he ran the same time as his brother. Joey Bosa's dominating the NFL already, was Rookie of the Year. Nick Bosa, I think, is still going to be the #1 D lineman off the board. He didn't need to run a 4.4 today to be a top 3 draft pick. Some other guys, though, you can obviously vault your stock. I think DK Metcalf, he didn't have a lot to show last season. He was hurt. A.J. Brown was their #1 receiver. Mississippi, you show up at 230, 1.8% body fat and run a 4.3, you might be the first receiver off the board. I mean, so it's just it just all depends on who you are as a player, what you've been able to do. That the Combine is a grind. It really is. It's a grind. It's tough to do. It's tough to wake up, at 4 o'clock in the morning and get yanked on and pulled on and tested on by doctors and go out there and perform. So I agree with Graham. There's a professionalism to be able to go out and perform like a lot of these guys have done.
There are a lot of NFL cornerbacks tonight who are looking at that tape of DK Metcalf saying, wouldn't you like to switch to linebacker? It'd be much better to have him on our side of the ball because I don't want to try to stop him. We saw U of M defensive end Rashawn Gary run a 4.59. We saw linebacker Devin Bush .433 and was outstanding in the standing vertical as well. What about the draft prospects for MSU's 4 combine attendees? Cornerback Justin Lane, running back L.J. Scott, wideout Felton Davis, and safety Kari Willis.
Yeah, I mean, I think Felton is going to interview extremely well, and he's going to try to make sure that the scouts and the coaches from the NFL know that he's going to be ready for training camp. You know, that's what he can do, and I think he's going to do that well. And obviously his bench press was pretty impressive, you know, ended up in the top 5 in wide receivers in bench press. LJ is another guy that's going to have to run well at Pro Day. He chose not to run at the Combine. That to me says he wasn't necessarily ready to roll. He's had the ankle injury, so that makes sense. And then the other 2 guys tomorrow, I think Kari Willis is going to run pretty well, but it's Justin Lane. Has an opportunity to vault his way into a definite second-round pick and maybe into the first round if he runs in the 4.3s, which I think he has the capability of doing, especially with scouts asking about his speed.
Be very interesting to see which one of those 4 players goes first. We'll be back talking baseball. Take it to the bank up next.
If you're looking for a used car, then look to Shaheen Chevrolet.
We've expanded our lot to include Lansing's largest selection of used cars and trucks. Late models, low miles, and no worries.
Shaheen's certified pre-owned vehicles come with a full detailed history report, 2 warranties, and included maintenance. You even get free OnStar and XM radio.
We also have a great selection of vehicles under $10,000, all with special internet pricing at ShaheenChevrolet.com.
You get a better used car deal because you get a better used car at Shaheen Chevrolet.
There's a reason we're Mid-Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
You save more at Shaheen in 2019.
Fox 47 invites you to join the club, the Yes Club. Be the first to know about all of our great giveaways. Join the Yes Club, and you're on your way to winning the hottest tickets and other great offers. Sign up once and never miss out on another contest again. Just go to fox47news.com, click the Yes Club icon. Plus, you can increase your chances of winning each contest by sharing on social media. Join the Yes Club and be a winner today.
Welcome to the Galaxy.
Orville, all new Thursday on Fox.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank. Dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years. 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
On the right side of the overship, Kristen Stewart, high fly ball, right field, way back in right, and gone! Kristen Stewart with a grand slam home run to right. There was little doubt when it left his bat. That's the first of many we're going to see this year. 4 runs in for the Tigers on the Kristen Stewart grand slam.
First Tigers home run we have shown this year in the Grand Slam. Christian Stewart, some people think that he's going to hit a lot of those. He's got that kind of a swing, just kind of relax the ball, jumps off his bat, and he has his home run trot down. It's very important. I think you watch him go around the bases. He knows exactly what he is doing. All right, Team 284, I want to talk a little bit of baseball and some signing news. Philadelphia Phillies giving Bryce Harper a 13-year, $330 million deal with a no-trade clause. Graham Couch, what can we take to the bank with this deal? And how much could Bryce Harper have gotten if he'd hit higher than 249?
Yeah, I think what we can take to the bank is at some point Philadelphia will regret it. 13 years is a long time, and I understand he's only 26 years old, and there's no salary cap, so there's no real penalty for all that stuff. But I don't think he's that good a player.
Yeah.
And I also don't think his star power is worth it. Now, I know they've sold a lot of season tickets since then, so maybe it is. And I think there are reasons to argue the Miguel Cabrera contract was worth it even as we see him now. But in Major League Baseball, I don't really believe in the star. It's a regional sport. I care about the Detroit Tigers.
Right.
I don't care what Philadelphia does. I don't care who they sign. And maybe there's evidence otherwise. I just don't. He doesn't seem like the player is worth it. Machado, at that position, playing shortstop, or even third base, infielder, a little different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth it.
Darian Harris, you watched Bryce Harper. You're a fan of the Washington Nationals. How will he be received when the Phillies come to Nats Park? And if you had a choice, Bryce Harper, Colorado Rockies re-sign Nolan Arenado, or big money acquisition for the San Diego Padres and Manny Machado, how would you rank them?
Well, in terms of how he's going to be received, I mean, I think he's going to be a mix of cheers and boos. I mean, I think the issue is he didn't deliver the title to
What would you be doing?
DC. I think as an athlete, I would probably cheer because I know how the business is. You go where you want to go. Players come and go. That's just life. That's just how it is. But for the Nationals, I mean, they kind of had that weird complex where they would finish #1 in record and then be out in the first round. So that's going to be frustrating, I think, for Nationals fans to see. In terms of how I would rank them,
Harper, Arenado, and Machado.
Yeah. Wow. I think I would go Harper 1, Machado, and then Arenado. But I don't like the contract. I don't like the 13 years. I don't like the 330. I mean, to me, Harper has something to prove this year. You can't bat 240, 250 again.
Right.
And he's not quite Mike Trout. So imagine what Trout's going to get. But Harper could go out there and bang 45, 50 home runs, and all of a sudden we're talking about a different narrative. I just didn't like the contract because I thought he was going for the most money per year. He doesn't even make the most money per year on his team.
No.
So I don't understand.
He's got this weird security complex. Like who wants to live in Philly for 13 years? They're going to boo the hell out of you on the back end of that contract.
I would think he'd want the shortest contract he could get and get the most per year and sign another one.
Exactly. That's what I.
Quite the way it works.
Yeah.
Doug, would you ever give a 26-year-old outfielder who's never played in a championship game a 13-year fully guaranteed contract in any sport?
Not him. No, not him. Outfielder, yeah, maybe a Barry Sanders, Michael Jordan. I'd do it for those guys, not Bryce Harper.
That's a long time. That's half his life. We'll be right back with Cool and Smooth up next.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
You're watching Fox 47's Family of Stations.
The pages of outdoor life in Field & Stream magazines will come to life at the Lansing Center, March 8th through 10th. It's the Outdoor Life Field & Stream Expo, presented by Suzuki, formerly Deer and Turkey Expo. Don't miss this massive display of top hunting, adventure, and outdoor gear. Meet skilled experts who share your passion. Enter the Trophy Buck Contest, plus see the archery trick shot demo, the incredible Dock Dogs, Whitetails of North America, and New Holland presents continuous helpful seminars. Tickets and info at fieldandstreamexpo.com.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by all 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. Big Ten regular season hockey is done, and there you see the last regular season game for the Spartans. 3-2 win over first place Ohio State, and that sets up the Big Ten playoffs and a 3-game series. Michigan State will be at Notre Dame for those games next week. You see Michigan will be traveling to Minnesota in the 6 versus 3 set. Wisconsin and Penn State in a 5 versus 4, and the Buckeyes get the bye. So still some college hockey, and Neil Koepke has not entered withdrawal just yet. All right, Team 284, time for our weekly awards. And who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Darian Harris, what about our play of the week?
Well, I'll tell you what the play isn't, and that's LeBron throwing the ball off the back of the backboard against the Suns and that debacle. So that's not the play of the week. But no, the real play or plays of the week for me are all the guys at the Combine that are performing out of their mind. I mean, I think that we saw last year with Saquon Barkley, they said if he ran what he ran, he was going to, shift the trajectory of how we viewed it and kind of rewrite, the metrics. A lot of guys this year are doing that too. And it's not just the skill position players, which is what's making me excited. It's the linebackers, Devin Bush and Devin White running low 4.4s. Obviously the D linemen. Obviously Montez Sweat running 4.42, but Quinnen Williams at 303 pounds running 4.8. Dexter Lawrence running 5'5" at 330. I mean, these people are posting absolutely astronomical times, so we can only see what's going to happen with the DBs tomorrow, but it's been pretty exciting to watch.
A group award from Darian Harris. Doug Warren, what about our game of the week?
Well, we saw the clip earlier in the show. I got to go with Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat beating the Golden State Warriors. A great basketball game, and as you guys said, a great week in the NBA, so I got to go with that game from a Wednesday night.
I got to give you an honorable mention to that. Was at Hazlitt High School Friday night for a district championship game where Williamston had just beaten Hazlitt by 29 points. So they go at it again, and they said, tough to beat a team 3 times. And Hazlitt proved it and got the district crown, moving on.
Wow.
So, congratulations to all the district champions from our area. Graham Couch, what about our team of the week?
For the first time in the history of the show, I think, perhaps, the Detroit Pistons are the team of the week. It might be.
Save
seriously.
the tape, ladies and gentlemen.
And it might be the last time. Who knows? But they won tonight, and they beat the Raptors in overtime. Andre Drummond with 2 big late free throws, which is speaks to a lot of his development. And they are 31-31. They are now in the 6th spot. If the playoffs ended today, they would play the Pacers, a wounded team who they're capable of beating. This is a team that the way they're playing, and just the way Reggie Jackson's been playing, Griffin has been great for a long time. Drummond, that core group that looks like a team that could get to the 2nd round of the NBA playoffs. And look, at this point, after all the bad Pistons basketball we've been watching the last few years, that would be really refreshing.
Pretty good stuff. All right, for our player of the week, I want to show you someone who is preparing for the Combine in 2039. This is his first recorded pull-up. This is Logan Jack-Zebling in Beijing.
He can do one more pull-up than I can.
So, he's definitely working. He's got the regimen down. I have to talk about Xavier with a Z, Simpson. Captain Hook, as John Beeline calls him.
Incredible.
5 of those baskets today. 6 for 7 from the field, 12 points, 10 assists. Made such a difference when he was in the game. Got that basket just before halftime where he worked. I don't know how he got that one up and in.
Wouldn't the dream, Jack, be if this is something 8- and 9-year-olds work on like 10 years from now? Like everywhere in college basketball is the hook shot,
Graham Couch, Darian Harris, Doug Warren, Team 284. Want to thank you all for joining us. And we'll be back next week. Much more basketball. Hey, we'll have Michigan State 2 to talk about. And we'll be getting ready for the Big Ten tournament in Chicago. Want to thank all of you for joining us. Have a great week, everyone.
From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
The rule of threes states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing than those that don't. We couldn't agree more. Three trucks, one GMC. Current GM owners get over $11,000 total value on the specially equipped Sierra Denali when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade GMC.
Last man standing.
Weeknights at 7:30 on Fox 47.